What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Nick.
And MD,
What's up, MD? I missed you.
girl, I miss being in the studio. This is so crazy.
I know, but it's okay. It's okay. You'll be back soon.
Yeah, soon, yeah.
Okay, so I just want to know, did everybody do their homework last week? I'm gonna take that as a no. Nobody did their homework.
Uh,
Uh,
Okay, well, give me one takeaway from last week.
Anybody?
MD.
okay, well, I'll go ahead and jump in. We were talking a little bit about. We kind of touched on investments. We didn't get too deep into it.
Well, we
Just
weren't
kind of give us
supposed to.
right. As much as I wanted to, I had to hold back.
That's later, like
Yeah.
next week.
Oh, okay. Cool. But just, I think it's the introduction to getting people thinking about their finances a little bit more and really trying to plan for the future,
Hmm.
you know, plan for sometimes unwanted expenses, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, Gabe.
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of took away the same thing. Just like preparation is key. Having somebody to support you in your financial journey. Those are the biggest things that I took away.
Yes, so planning is key. And when we're getting ready to talk finances or preparing for our financial health, we do need people in our corner to help direct us and get us straight. And so we're going to welcome James Watkins back this week. Hey, Mr. James.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, ready to go, and as they say, dress fed and ready to play.
Exactly. So, just if you're not remembering who Mr. James is, he is a man of faith. He is an entrepreneur. He has been in the financial services business for over 25 years. He provides sound financial advice and counsel for his clients. And so we are just happy that he has decided to join us again this week. So this week, you guys, we're going to talk about saving, because as this is financial literacy month, I just wanted us to just kind of be a little bit more mindful of what our finances look like and how we can be better prepared for us and our families. And MDI, really? Okay. MD and I have been talking, and both of us are really focused on this kind of journey right now because we're both trying to get our houses in order. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm knocking on 50. I'll be 49 next week. And
Yeah.
I know, and we'll be in studio for my birthday.
Hey.
Um, and so I got a little something planned for y'all too. But uh I just don't want to be 50 and not in a good space. I didn't really want to be in my 40s and not in a good space, but we all know life happens. And so we just want to give you guys some tips and tools and prepare you guys because things are changing out here in these streets. And it behooves all of us to get our financial houses in order. Mr. James, any thoughts before we go to our quick break and come back?
No, I just think this is a good topic. Like you said, going in your 50s. This is something really person in their teens should be learning and get down so you can start at as early as possible. So as kudos to all of you guys for putting this on and having this conversation.
All right. Well, we'll be right back after this little break, guys, to talk about saving. Talking about saving. So, Mr. James, when you have a client that you're meeting with, what is the first thing you tell them about saving money?
Well, the first thing that I'm going to tell them is they need to establish an emergency account. And in that emergency account, you typically want 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. That's what most advisors recommend. I like 8 to 12 months, but I can live with 3 to 6 months. And make sure that we get a short-term savings, because what kills most people when they have something come up is, an emergency. You're $1,000. Something happens to the car, or something happens, at the house, and or just an unexpected expense comes up, and the first thing most people have to do is go touch their 401k, because that's all the emergency money that they have, and the 401k plan was never designed to be borrowing against it consistently like that. And that's why most people won't retire on target, because the only thing they have is their 401k. So if you save money, money will save you. That's why emergency fund is important.
So, how much should we start putting back in the emergency fund? Like, should we? Is there a set amount we should do every week, or just is it like a certain percentage of our salary?
You need to know your budget. What you want in your emergency account is, like I said, 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. So if it costs you, $3,000, $4,000 a month to live, then you need somewhere between $9,000 to $18,000 in the emergency fund. And then you just go run your budget. You should have a budget what it's costing you to live on a monthly basis. And a good goal, if you can put up 10% for emergencies, then that's good. I normally tell my clients 75, 15, and 10. 75% you live off of, 15% you invest, and 10% you save.
Okay. I never thought about it like that. 75% you live on, 10% you save, and then 15% is what?
You invest.
Invest. Okay. But we will not talk investing today, people. So, well, no, because we got a little carried away last week. And I
You
didn't.
did. You did. You did good. You did good. We just, the specifics is hard to. It's just like when you advising a client, it's just like seeing a patient as a doctor. It is not one size fits all. So, certain things that work well for one patient don't necessarily work well for every patient. So it's hard to give specific advice to someone you don't know. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Maurice,
Yes.
when you hear that, what are your thoughts?
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of shifting because I heard some years ago the 50, 30, 20 kind of split, 50% that you live off of. And I want to say the 30, maybe saving the 20 towards debt. So that kind of popped up in my mind as he was talking, and I was trying to kind of make sense of it all.
Yeah, as I was researching, because y'all know I do, I saw the 50/30/20 rule, which was 50% of your money towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% towards savings. But now, as Mr. James has, walked us through that, it really makes more sense to me to do 75, 15, and 10. Because with the way,
Both work.
okay.
Sorry.
No, well, my thought process was maybe the rule changed because of inflation and it's so expensive
Mhm.
out here these days. But I see how both would work, but I think it would be more realistic to do the 75, 15, 10. Because I don't know about y'all, but as I've been redoing my finances and redoing my budget, it is hard to do 50% because stuff is so expensive. Like I
Mhm.
I have paid 50% more in groceries
Right.
these days than I ever have. And so just in groceries alone and gas alone, I would be over my 50%.
Mhm.
I think our saving grace in our household is that the mortgage is paid off. So I have a little bit more to put toward paying off the debt for the queen and I, um, because I don't want mommy stressing over things. Um, and so, that's our blessing, but everybody doesn't have that situation.
Mhm.
So once you do your emergency fund, what's next?
After your emergency fund is established, then you should be investing for the long term. I would do. I'd just be investing from that point forward
Okay.
after my emergency fund is established because if you save in an emergency account, you some good options out there right now. You could save in your savings. You could, it's just got a lot of stuff online, high yield savings accounts and things like that you can go get 4 and 5% for. But after your emergency money is put up, now you want to start really rocking and rolling. probably really should save before you invest,
Okay.
so you don't touch your investments. Most people touch their investments, which it nullifies, everything that you're doing because yeah, you've been saving, but then bam, as soon as you have an emergency, all I got is this mutual fund here, so let me go sell that
Uh,
and go touch it, and so you don't really invest for the long term, which is that's where you benefit from. So emergency savings, retirement planning, and then from there, any other goals and dreams that you got to save for.
okay. So that would go under our special projects task. And so when I think of special projects, I think of like home improvements. Like I would save toward the home improvements, like that backyard kitchen you want, or that patio, or that swimming pool, or or maybe it's a trip that you want to plan for the family. That's what I would call a special project. So once the emergency fund is done, then we can start saving for that emergency. I mean, the special project. And then that way we're budgeting for that kind of stuff and we're not just being frivolous with the funds. But then that goes back to you have to create your budget first. So, can we talk about that a little bit? Because I think that impacts your savings. So, when you're creating your budget, you're thinking of all the things that you're spending in the month that you need to pay for, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
So,
A
can you?
good idea would be when creating a budget is, maybe go a month and you just track all your expenses, and then the next month go back and look at all the expenses that you had, kind of get an idea of your patterns and your habits, and then create your budget after you see where your money goes.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense because if you're tracking it in real time over the month, you know exactly what you're spending. Gabe, have you done that?
To be honest, no. I need to though. I have not. I feel like I'm just getting to the point where I'm like kind of implementing a lot of the financial stuff that I've learned. So I'm working towards it, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. MD?
I've been working on it. I've been not as attentive lately, but I've got a spreadsheet and I've also been using Rocket Money to try to track it.
Hmm. So how long did it take you to do your spreadsheet?
Well, I love spreadsheets, so it was just a few minutes.
I sat down and did my budget using Excel.
Mhm.
It took me all of 10 minutes. And I had categories like mortgage rent, groceries, uh, car, and then gas for car, insurance for car. Did I say groceries already?
Mhm.
Okay. Then I had utilities, and I broke the utilities out: water, gas, lights, cell phone, TV. And then I took away the miscellaneous because I'm trying not to have a miscellaneous bucket. Then I put savings, and then I did not put an investment because I don't want to do that until everything else is paid off. And then I did a separate sheet where then I had a category for debt payoff. And then on the second sheet, listed all the debts that I was trying to pay off. Just throwing that out there, just in case somebody wants to use their spreadsheet and create one. But that way, I can be more focused and intentional about tracking the money, tracking the spend, paying off the debt. Mom has paid off like 5 credit cards in the last year. I've paid off one, two, three debt accounts in the last year because we got really laser focused on what we needed to do. Any other thoughts on the budget? Really? Y'all gonna be that quiet on me today? Okay. So, Mr. James, can we talk about saving for college?
Okay. Yep. What do you want to talk about? Now really, you got to make sure you got that categorized correctly because that's really investing. But yeah, definitely college plans, 529s, Coverdale IRAs. I mean, the sooner you can get started for a kid, because I mean, the college inflation rate is higher than the everyday cost of living inflation. So it's definitely, I mean, as soon as a child is born, I always advise my clients, man, start saving, putting away as much money as possible. Of course, you can use a vehicle like the 529. I have no problem. That's just general advice out there. There's plenty of options, different states, and then everybody in the family can contribute to that. Instead of you still can buy them toys, but you know when their birthday come up, instead of giving them something they probably wouldn't play with or an outfit they wouldn't wear, hey, throw $50 in your nephew's or your niece's 529 plan, and the whole family can do it. And so, it's just it's an excellent savings vehicle. And there's a lot of them out there that allow you to put away money for that kid's college. And if for some reason, God forbid, that one child you wanted to have that 529 for, they decide they're not going to college, when they get old enough to go, you can change the beneficiary on that program and give it to the next child, say the next sibling or somebody else.
I didn't know you could change it like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
So, what if nobody uses it? What happens?
I mean, it's your money. You just go pay taxes on it. So the benefit of the 529 and the Coverdale IRA, the IRS says, hey, as long as you use this for post-secondary education, we're going to allow that money to come out tax-free without any tax consequences. You don't use it for college, then Uncle Sam wants his share.
Gotcha. Okay, well that's easier than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was this long drawn out because I have a couple of friends like stressing right now because they did not start the 529. And so yeah. So that's why I thought it
Yeah,
was important.
yeah. One element, when you're talking about your financial health, that I really think you guys got to harp on is you got to make more money. So see, right, all these options are available, but most people, and you hit the nail on the head, Adrian. From the beginning was when you talked about, you know, um, inflation. So inflation, real inflation, is about 20%. So a person who was struggling a year ago, 2 years ago, already to make ends meet, now the cost of living is adjusted. They're getting 20% less of what they were getting, 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And so most people just need to make more money so they can take advantage of 529, start saving for emergencies and different things like that. It's only two financial problems you'll hear me say all the time a family has. Either number one, they spend too much, or number two, they don't make enough. And most people just simply don't make enough money.
No, we don't. Like,
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
thought that, when I was growing up, I used to see all these doctors and lawyers and, oh, if I could just be in that industry, I'll be straight. And that is so not the truth. Like I know lots of doctors and lawyers that even though they're making, good six figures, they are still struggling. And it's because the reality is when you take out the loans for college and then you have to pay the loans back, then you start lifing and you have mortgages and you have kids and you have debt and you have just regular living expenses that all adds up. So you're right, Mr. James. Either we spend too much or we don't make enough. And regardless of what industry, regardless of what job, we all are it seems like everybody is looking for extra ways to make some more cash, and I think that's why we have an influx in entrepreneurial endeavors. I think that's why we see a lot of mom and pop shops right now, because everybody is trying to make money. My grandmother said your talents make way for you, And I never understood that until the last 2 or 3 years because I mean, maybe it's just me, but I see more people baking and I see more people providing other kind of services like meal prep or whatever they tend to be good at. Like I saw a business on Facebook the other day for someone who would come in and not just clean your house but organize your house. So I think more people are getting more in tune because, like you just said, we need to find other ways to make money.
Mm.
We're going to take a
Absolutely.
quick break and we'll be back for questions and other discussions. We'll be right back. All right, all right. And we're back. Y'all know I love music. Coach, isn't that one of your favorites?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, you didn't? Oh my
Sorry.
goodness.
No.
All I do is win by
No.
DJ Khaled.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear it. I just yeah, that is one of my favorites. So
Oh my goodness. I didn't know you couldn't hear it. I'm sorry. Okay, so we have a question from Miss Taylor today.
Yes.
all right,
So my question is, for a young adult who's really just getting started in life, whose finances is mainly going towards expenses, how do you start saving?
man, that's an excellent question. May I ask how old you are,
I am 27.
and are you do you got like family responsibility, or you just single as you?
It's me and my partner in a one bedroom. We split the most of the expenses, but even doing that, like, it's not, there's not enough to, with car insurance, student loans, you know, um, all your basic stuff
Here's,
is not working out. Well, I mean, it's fine, but I want to. We have life goals, and it seems like that's
right.
not going to
A-
work out.
Absolutely, and it's not going to be an easy answer, but I'm gonna tell you what I told my 31-year-old son and my 27-year-old daughter.
Mhm.
If knowing what I know, uh, man, at your age, I mean, you have to adopt a philosophy like, look, you make a living from 9 to 5, but you build a life after 5. Because the two assets that you have, um, I mean, yeah, I mean, man, I mean, number one is your age. You're 27, so you're youthful. You got a bunch of energy. That's an asset. And the second asset is your ability to go earn income. And so, like, I would, find my regular job, whatever that is, like I said, from 9 to 5, and for a short period of time, not forever, I'd have me a second job or gig or something like that. There's plenty of different things that you could do, and I'd have one that I would basically use to pay for all my living expenses, and then one job, that part-time gig, I maybe save and invest that for the first 3 to 5 years, because that will set you putting away that money, keeping your expenses, living off of one, not trying to do what everybody else is doing right now, which is spending, you know.
Mhm.
But living off one, taking care of your basic necessities and all that kind of stuff, maybe off your full time job, and then your part time gig, just saving and investing. And if you did that, say for let's say you did that for 10 years, God forbid, right? You'd be 37 years old. You got $100,000 saved. That 100,000, by the time, man, you were 55, 60 years old, that 100,000 would grow to 7 figures. And I mean, you literally be set. You probably wouldn't even have to save any more money unless you just wanted to have a higher savings goal. But
Mhm.
that 10 years, that short 10 years of your lifetime that you really got focused on keeping your expenses under control, living off that one salary, and then saving the other years will put you light years ahead of most people. Most people just do everything the opposite though. They go party, they go play from 27 until 47, and then it's like, oh shoot, wait a minute, I do got to retire one day. I,
Mhm.
I do. Let me get real serious. I'm 50 now. I want to retire at 60. It's like, now I'm living off of Social Security because my body and stuff like that don't want to go work no more. And so you retire broke. So man, go get another gig and save and invest all of that, 100%.
All right.
Okay. Gabe, any questions?
Um, yeah. So we mentioned the what was it, 30, 60, 20. Well, how did that
50,
go?
30,
50,
20,
30,
or
20.
75, 15, 10.
Got you. Okay. So how would you go about budgeting like I mean, I know you probably can't give specifics just off the top, but um like if hypothetically if I were to make like 75,000 a year, like what is the best way to budget that, especially if you have goals of purchasing a home?
Say it one more. Ask me one more time. That
Yeah.
I didn't hear that last part.
Yeah, so so basically I have goals of purchasing a home. And so
Okay.
if you like with all of the immediate expenses right now, like car, rent, all of the different things that come along with it, I feel like it's hard to save for a down payment, even though I would be qualified for FHA and stuff like that. But in terms of saving, like, what are the best ways to go about that? I mean, with the expenses that are already there.
Yeah. I think that's another excellent question. The rules of home buying, man, it's really changed a lot. We kind of go by some antiquated. It's like, well, you got to have 20% down. There's a lot of programs, man, with free money for first time home buyers. I would probably spend a year or two getting to know people that's knowledgeable, like a good realtor, a good mortgage loan officer. And don't get me wrong, they go try to sell you because they get paid when you buy. So you don't, you basically want to learn what they know,
Right.
and get the house when you're on your timetable. So that's one piece of advice that I would give you,
Okay.
because they're very knowledgeable. And then second of all, as far as I would make sure I'm done with all my credit card debt. Um, and get as much as you can. I wouldn't necessarily worry about the 20% because you can get a lot of free money out there.
Gotcha.
But home ownership is still, and it's debatable a little bit because you got some guys out there that say, don't buy a home, it's not a good investment for you, whatever. That's why I created a lot of my net worth. So I'm not in that corner. I see their point though, and they're justified in some of the things that they say. But for me, because I wasn't a good saver, right? So me paying a mortgage versus paying for an apartment forced me to build a savings through the equity in my home. So when I sold my home, I got twice as much as what I paid for it. Even now, I'm older, I'm more mature, I'm more stable. Now I had a lump sum to put in my other investments. So I'm a big proponent of you need to get in the home as soon as possible. And they want you in a home, so that's why they go find different avenues, and like banks, they want you in a home, so they'll find ways to work with you on that down payment. But just get your debt under control and get some knowledge from people out there. Plenty of people out there with a real estate license that can tell you where free money is.
Gotcha.
And go out there and make that happen. Hopefully I answered that for you, but it's not as hard as you probably think it is.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Okay, MD,
No questions. No questions.
you have to ask at least one.
Oh my goodness. Well, let me make sure I don't get my hand slapped. Let's
No, I'm not
see.
gonna slap your hand, but we got Mr. James here, and he giving us some good nuggets tonight.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm still kind of leaning back on the discussion about the 75, 15, 10, and that's something I think I want to try out. Because I mean, it's kind of like you brought up, the 50, 30, 20 is hard with everything the way that way things are right now.
Mm-hmm.
70, 75 just makes more sense, and I feel like I'm kind of doing it now anyway. I'm doing the 50 and punishing myself by going over, but it's like it's stuff that I need.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm still kind of on that right now.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll give you a pass.
Thank you.
Okay. So here's my question: for someone in their late 40s who is really like trying to establish some ground rules, and I really am, now that I think about my budget, I really am doing closer to the 75, 15, 10. How do I go about paying off the debt quicker? Because I want to save
Huh.
more.
Excellent question. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Make more money. It's an excellent question because, like I say, it's only two problems you can have. Number one, you spend too much, or number two, you don't make enough. If you made more money, see, this is what happened. This is how I got in the industry, right?
Mhm.
So somebody said to me, because I just had bad habits. I just wasn't educated like most people, and so I had debt that I shouldn't have had. um, and that was because I didn't make enough money, so I had to go get in debt. And then when I started making more money, now the whole purpose of what, like I told the young lady before, the whole purpose of my extra income, it became so I could fund my budget. Now I could start saving for the kids' college, like I talked about before. Off my regular salary, I couldn't save for the kids' college. I couldn't save for an emergency account, and I could not pay off debt because I simply didn't make enough money.
Gotcha.
Then when I started making extra $2,000 a month, now with my budget, now my money had a purpose. Wait a
Mm,
minute, this $2,000, I could put 1,000 over here, to pay down debt, 1,000 over here toward my savings goal, my emergency fund, the college education, retirement, all the stuff I never had. Then as I paid those debts off, it's like, man, okay, now I got those debts paid off. I'm making $2,000, $3,000 a month outside of my job, right? Now I can take that extra 1,000 I was using toward debt that I no longer have, and I can increase my savings goal. So what started happening was, man, I started saving $2,000, $3,000 a month, and my assets started to accumulate, which builds more money because
mm.
they pay you dividends, they pay you capital gains, and all those things like that. So my money started making money, which replaced even that part-time job that I had. So, it just kind of got me free because I had to go make more money. And that's what we don't want to hear. That is the toughest part, y'all. The toughest part is because most people think, oh, I got work-life balance. Oh my gosh, I wanna go to work 8 hours, come home, be able to do what I want to do, and travel the world and hang out with all my friends at happy hour and do all this other stuff. Oh, that's what the masses do, and that's why the masses have problems financially because they're living a lifestyle that they can't really afford.
Mm.
You got to put in the time right now for a period of time, not forever, to go get your finances in order, increase your income, accumulate your assets, decrease your expenses, and set yourself up where you got so much money saved that your money starts working and you don't have to go work.
Gotcha. Ooh, thank you. Because I think the reality is, like you said, we just need more money. And so um when life happened and I moved back home to, be a caregiver to mom and, get some other things straight, it really, really hit me that the safety nets are gone. And my safety nets were my dad's. So when life happened and I lost dad and bonus dad within 6 months of each other, it really hit me that, okay, Adrian, you gotta stop playing because the safety nets are gone. And not that I relied on them for everything, but a lot of things I just kept thinking I had more time, I had more time, I had more time. And then when those things happened, I did not have more time. And so I got very clear on my financial house is not in order. So I did my will. I bought insurance. Um, I started really sticking to the budget. I started being intentional about saving, being intentional about paying off the debt. Um, I got very clear that I needed to get a new home. Um, and so as we're talking tonight, what really sticks to me is when we all have to make a decision to be in a better financial situation. And when we start making when we make that decision, we have to start really adhering to the budget and really paying off the debt and really putting money away for a rainy day and really doing what we need to do to secure our families. So whether you're doing the 50-30-20 or the 75-15-10, I just think we owe it to ourselves to get very clear on we need to be in a mode of saving so we can do what we need to do for our families. And if that means picking up a part-time job for a year or two or three, depending on your age and what your goals are, we need to be okay with doing that, because I would rather sacrifice now than to keep shaking my head talking about woulda, coulda, shoulda, and what I don't have. Because the older you get, the more you're not going to want to be stuck. But the older you get, you won't have the energy to do the things that you need to do. So, Mr. James, any parting thoughts?
Still there.
Sorry, y'all, I was on mute. I was over here talking. It was profound.
No problem.
It was the best stuff I ever said, man. Anyways, like I was saying, I really love the content that you guys discussed tonight. I mean, it is what it is. The money game is just math. It's mathematics. There's no hocus pocus or magic about it, man. You need to basically live below your means. You need to save money where they pay you to use your money, because that's exactly what banks and insurance companies do. When you give them money, they're using your money. You need to get paid. And you need to understand, especially for all your young listeners out there, man, that's in their 30s and they're in their 20s, that is your asset, man. Right now, you are at the point in life where you got the highest, energy level that you're gonna have. It's one thing to be old. It's another thing to be broke, but it's an entirely different thing to be old and broke. When you get 60, 65, 70 years old, man, you're not going to want to be broke, because it's hard. I mean, it's difficult. I've had clients cry because their auto homeowners insurance went up $50 for the year. $50, but they're on a fixed income. Because see, guess what? They didn't get a $50 raise from Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I've had clients eating cat food because they couldn't afford food. That's just a reality. Cheaper to buy a can of cat food than it is, food in the grocery store. So if you start getting these principles down now, the younger you are, the better. If you're 40, you're 50, it's not too late for you, but you better turn it up. You're in what I call the fourth quarter. It's the fourth quarter of the game. You down by touchdown and maybe a field goal. You down by 10. You can't afford to fumble no more. You can't afford to be playing. You better get dead serious and lock in about getting a budget, getting a savings plan, investing, and changing your financial life so that you can live a life of comfort, because you're going to live a lot longer in retirement. Almost half your life now, statistically speaking, almost half your life is going to be in retirement years than in your income earning years. And so you just want to be prepared for that.
Well, MD, anything after Mr. James just gave us that nugget?
That was heavy all by
I
itself. I'm
know,
telling you.
right?
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate you coming on, Mr. James.
I appreciate all of you, man. You guys have a great show.
Well, thank you, Mr. James. So next week, guys, thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Gabe.
Absolutely.
Um, I hope what was said tonight resonates with people. Share, 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 like, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We will continue our financial literacy conversations next week by talking about debt management. And some of the things we're going to talk about is paying debt on time. How does the debt impact my credit? And how to understand credit management and where you stand credit wise. So, same savings time and same savings date. See, we'll see you guys next week, next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Thanks, guys. Peace.
Yeah. he hopped off.